Today, South Carolina became the 21st state to have an abortion ban on the books after Republican Governor Henry McMaster signed a 6-week abortion ban to law like the one in Florida. Not only are conservatives trying to attack abortion access through state legislatures, they're going through the courts as well. An anonymous plaintiff backed by Texas Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton, the one that we just talked about, just sued Planned Parenthood for $1.8 billion with a B dollars. You will never guess, in a million years, where this was filed. Which American city do you think they filed this anti-abortion lawsuit in? You guessed it, Amarillo, Texas. Ding, 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 that's right. Amarillo's only federal judge, Matthew Kacsmaryk, the right-wing Trump-appointed judge who single-handedly struck down the FDA's approval of mifepristone, which had been safely on the market for over 20 years. That is the judge that will hear this new case. Alexis McGill Johnson is the CEO and president of Planned Parenthood Action Fund and Planned Parenthood Federation of America, and she joins me now. It's good to have you in the program. I have to say, I saw the news of this lawsuit, and then when I read some of the details, I'll give an example from a Vox explainer here. Basically, they're suing Planned Parenthood for complying with a federal court order. That's the short version. The longer version. The Doe lawsuit alleges Planned Parenthood should have to repay all the money it received for providing care to Medicaid patients in Texas and Louisiana during the period those two states were legally bound to keep working with them. They claim that Planned Parenthood is liable for 3 times the amount of money it received, plus a penalty of up to $11,000 for each of the thousands of claims for payment filed with those two states. How serious is this lawsuit, and does it pose a threat to your organization?
Well, Chris, yes, it's serious, right? Because yes, it is happening, again, in a state and in a district that, we have seen has been hostile to reproductive freedom. So are we concerned? Absolutely. Is there any merit to the case? Absolutely not. Exactly what you said, right? These are baseless claims. They're essentially suing for Planned Parenthood getting reimbursed for providing healthcare services in Texas to patients, just like every other healthcare provider does. And so, we follow the law, to a T. We ensure that we are compliant. We are a nonprofit, and millions of people depend on Planned Parenthood for their health care services. But what is not, clearly sufficient just to provide health care for some of these folks is that they are hell-bent on trying to make sure that not only will they ban access to abortion, not only will they ban access to gender-affirming care, but they are hell-bent on also trying to shutter our doors. And so we are fighting it every step of the way because it is completely baseless. It is not true. And honestly, is a clear example of why we need court reform.
The case that also came out of the same district in Matthew Kacsmaryk in Amarillo, mifepristone. This was a credible, audacious injunction nationwide that he'd ordered for to be taken off the shelves. Supreme Court ultimately stepping in and stopping that. But that case has now gone up to the appellate level in the Fifth Circuit in Texas, which is notoriously probably the most conservative. And it seems like the conservative judges on that are pretty open to some of the arguments on mifepristone. Like, how is Planned Parenthood gaming out the fact that this is likely going to go to the Supreme Court, and the ability and viability of it on store shelves is not completely clear?
Well, look, we believe that mifepristone will be available for the foreseeable future, but you were absolutely right. Again, that's why I ended my point on the need for court reform. When you can forum shop in district in northern Texas in order to secure one judge who has indicated, and clearly in his own opinion indicated that he did not believe that the FDA had done proper due diligence on mifepristone, which we know is safe and effective after 23 years and 5 million patients and, being available in 60 countries, that it now goes to a conservative Trump-appointed largely judges at the Fifth Circuit and then all the way up to the Supreme Court. So our reproductive freedoms, not just in states like Texas and Nebraska and South Carolina, are under attack, but it is a case that could have implications for the entire country. This court capture is the thing that is most threatening to women in this country, and that's where that's the message that we need to get out, so people understand it's not just in the banned states, the 21 banned states, nearly half the country. This is an attack that is coming to you, right now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me very clear. I think it was clear after Dobbs, that they're going to keep doing everything they can until it's banned everywhere all over the nation completely. I mean, is that your expectation of what the ultimate vision here is that you're working against?
Yeah, I believe that they were never real about returning the power to the states, right? They came out during the leak time, right? I think the day that the leak happened, the opposition announced that they wanted a nationwide ban. Every Republican candidate is now being queried as a litmus test on where they stand on a nationwide ban. And we know that the fear of the nationwide ban is what is mobilizing people. That is why you saw what you saw in the midterm elections. That's why you saw what you saw in Kansas right before that and in Wisconsin right after. And so, we need to ensure that people both have access to care, but also understand that every vote they take up and down the ballot is going to be a vote related to this care, because you have folks who clearly need ethics reform holding all of these offices, from attorney general to the state Supreme Court to lawmakers, and that's obviously incredibly concerning.
Yeah, one of those fights happening in Ohio, we spotlighted yesterday, in which they've now inserted a ballot amendment in August to raise the threshold to 60% to stop a majority of Ohioans who they suspect would vote for abortion rights from being able to do that. So there's going to be a pre-vote in August, just one of the many fights on this front. Alexis McGill Johnson, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thanks, Chris.